Good morning and welcome to Winnipeg. Okay, let's see if we can keep focused today on the model. Now, I do have a little tiny rollback though. Yeah, it only lasts about a minute or a minute and 10 seconds, something like that. Anyway, I got a comment here, I guess about an hour ago from somebody named Jerry. And Jerry suggested that I glue these parts onto in place sort of before I paint. See, my problem is, I was looking at this a moment ago, and I was trying to decide how could I glue the photo etch pieces that we were working on here yesterday, and paint it all. If it was all going to be the XF-19, that'd be great. But I want to have the deck, the 77. So that's why I have to do it in two or three pieces here. I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. Well, I do know that I'm going to get my paint booth dragged over here, and unless I was to do it over there again, it's almost ready to fall on the floor though, the way it's sitting. But hey, don't worry, it won't. Okay. I'm looking in the monitor here, and just the movement caught my eye, and wouldn't you know it, as soon as I press record, the vehicle dries up, and and he's going to be back in his skid cat out. Some of you call it a bobcat because that's the actual brand of that particular one, but the name of the vehicle technically is called a skid cat because they skid to turn. Okay. Now, at least that's what I call it. I'm probably wrong. Anyway, you know what? I think to get going here, maybe we should check out our rollback and. It's cloudy outside. I didn't see our walkers this morning. It doesn't mean that they didn't come out, come by. We'll check that later. I missed yesterday. Sorry about that for those of you who are waiting to see it and it never happened. So we'll check that out. And anyway, enough rambling on here. I'm starting to lose my train of thought and not make any more sense. Sort of happens a lot. So why don't we just roll back and see what I did yesterday. Okay, now for the latest on our pen. Our sprue pen made from the model ship sprues. Okay, I guess before we can turn the pen, I gotta get the lathe up and running. Before I can get the lathe up and running, I gotta get the stand. So as I mentioned before, I went to the lumber yard and I got the lumber. And, it's kind of funny. Every time I go to Lowe's, I tell myself, this is the last time I'm going to Lowe's. Well, this time what happened was I found the 2x4s, and they were, the 2x4 8s, and they were about average price for full 8-foots. And one of the staff walks by, and I said, where's your 1x4s? And he points away down, so I mosey on down with my cart to pick up a few 1x4s. I was going to use them maybe as cross bracing. And do you know that the 1x4s were more expensive than the 2x4s? Oh, Lowe's. Later, after I got my lumber in the house, I sat down with the computer and I quickly drew up sort of a cross-section of what I want to make here for a stand. And at least now I know, how many of this and how many of that I need, and it's kind of fun drawing it out too. Okay, I have just edited out everything that you have seen up until right now. And while I was sitting there in front of the computer and I was, looking at this little problem we got going on here, I realized that the more I think about Jerry's idea, the more I like it. And I think that what we should do, now this is my thinking right now, yes, we will glue the top of this piece of photo etch here to this piece right here. That's good. But also, I think what I should do is glue in place the G28 and the G29. Now, I may not have got these in the right order. Maybe this is the 28 and this is the 29. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Get them glued into place as well. so that these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces will all become one module. They then spray this entire module, on, at least on the sides, the 19 that I want, and then after I get this deck down here painted to 77, then, well, of course, I would also paint the sides, the outsides, and the insides of these splinter walls on this piece, the 19. Then I could paint the deck to 77, and very carefully paint this deck to 77. Now, undoubtedly, there will be little places I'd have to touch up later. Okay, now, that being said, do you remember about 2 episodes ago? Talk about getting sidetracked. Do you remember about two episodes ago, I was telling you that I had hoped that I'd be able to find the little package of extra parts underneath the bed of the lathe. Okay, this is the spindle from my old lathe. Some of you may have recognized it when I was putting together the mandrel and everything. Okay, now it turns out there was another package, and what I did was I took I removed the box from the lathe instead of the lathe from the box. In other words, it's out of the box now, but it's still on the floor. But here is the spindle that they sent. It's the exact same, probably make and model. Well, usually on these things they don't have a make stamped on it. It might just say somewhere made in China. But anyway, for some reason it's all rusty. This was one of the parts that they did not coat with their thick grease, and I wish they had. But that's okay. It's still, still works. It's not rusty on the inside. It's just a little bit rusty on the outside. I can run this through my wire brush down in the basement, but I don't even know if I'll even bother. It's not going to change anything. It's not like it's rusted away on the end here where it counts, and the bearing feels really good, so that's all right. Anyway, now enough about the lathe and the lumber. Let's concentrate the rest of the day on our model ship. Okay, I think maybe what I should do here is get our plastic pieces all fastened together, and then glue our photo etch on afterwards. But I think maybe if I'm smart, I'm going to just carefully remove these, because okay, yeah, let's put them in a safe place. We worked so hard on those yesterday. Okay, and then, well, why did I do it? Where's my tin? There we go. All right, now I don't need to worry about accidentally bending them. That's one of the reasons why I like plastic parts so much better. Okay, now we're going to glue these in place. And I wanted, don't accidentally put down so much glue that I'm going to accidentally glue this part to this part. Yeah, this is fitting pretty nice, isn't it? Okay, now this piece here got inside there. I do believe it's supposed to go like this, not underneath. Because if it goes underneath, then it's holding this part up, and the base of this bulkhead is going to be not down on the. Anyway, you get the idea. Okay, which one should I do first here? Maybe. What if I was to put a rubber band all the way around here to hold tension on this, just to hold it in for me, because it really doesn't want to. There's a bit of a gap there. I don't know, is that the gap the viewer was talking about, that he thought that maybe I should take and do a better job of sanding the. Well, I don't know if that viewer is watching right now, but hey, it's pretty sanded already. Okay, but I get your drift. At least I think that you were talking about this gap right here would show up really bad. Oh, I'm getting out of the field of view, aren't I? Okay, I'm going to just see if I can put a rubber band around that, around the back here and on here, just to hold it on, and then we'll use the quick setting. Okay, so what I've got going on here is a rubber band. It's not real tight. And a moment ago, I took the quick setting and I glued it just right along in there, and I moved this back and forth until I felt it sort of kind of melding, getting kind of, yeah. And unfortunately, I forgot to push record. I thought I had, but I guess I didn't. So consequently, all you're going to get to see is the aftermath. And yeah, we'll just give this a few minutes here, and I think it's going to be all right. Just wanted to make sure everything is down and square, and it feels right. Okay, and then we'll put these ones on. Well, that didn't work. I had it before. Why can't I get it now? Maybe I'm pushing down too hard on here. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, I want to get it in so that this fit. I noticed that they've molded it so that this edge of this part right here is actually at a bit of an angle, so it fits really well against the edge of this piece right here. I'm noticing it almost looks like it's not dry there. Oh no, it's dry. Okay. All right. You know what? Why don't I just reposition here, and we'll slip on the macro lens, and then we'll just get right in here. Okay, we don't have our macro lens on yet. Here's what I'm afraid is going to happen. Once I start working around with this thing, and I've got the macro lens focused right there, and I got it just exactly right, I'm probably going to move it out of the field of view, or move it further back or further in, and it's just going to go out of focus. And so here's my thinking on this. How would it be if I was to take and put my piece of plexiglass down, tape it down, and then maybe put a piece of blue tack on the bottom. Now I want to be careful here, because you notice I got these pegs coming out of the bottom. I don't want to squash them. So let's just see. I'm going to want the lens coming in like this. So if I push this down here, just very carefully here, that's going to hold it in place. And then when I'm cutting my photo etch pieces, I do this. I tape this thing down so that it doesn't move. It just helps, that's all. This is just one of the silly little things that I do. Okay, now I think that maybe what I should be doing is using maybe Now don't go losing your little parts. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Okay, maybe I'll just take this off temporarily here. Put one there, one there, maybe one on the of the nose section. Okay, like that. Yeah, that'll hold it a little bit more stable. Okay, now where was it that we were trying to glue that in? Right about there, wasn't it? Okay, that's going to be better. Okay, now let's put on our macro lens. Okay, now where it's coming up against the side of the splinter wall, I don't think we need to worry about that just at the moment here. Let's just try and get the top glued nice and tight right there. I'll just put a tiny little bit of the extra thin quick setting right there, and then hold it for a few seconds, which is what I'm going to try and do here. No, we don't want too much. That should be enough. Now if I hold it, yeah, if I hold it in place like that, I'd like it to be a little closer to the splinter wall, or rather not the splinter wall, but the bulkhead. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Do you know it's already glued itself there like that. Okay, I think you get the idea. Then I'm going to remove this piece and probably glue this piece to this piece afterwards, off camera. Okay, they are glued on. Let's get it back together. See if we can get our photo etch on now. Okay, we're still making use of our blue tack jig here. They should all go back together. Yeah, that seems to be all right. Okay. Now, just now when I picked this up, I think I bent it a little bit. I'm going to have to take this off camera and squeeze it together with the photo etch plier here. Just bear with me, please. I don't know if I made it better or worse. Well, let's see how it looks when we get it back down in its place here. Okay, I can see that I'm going to have to put on my magnification hood. But if we hold this down and just sort of tack it all the way along the top here using the Bob Smith Industries Instacure, I think it'll, yeah, I'm going to have to set up for that. Ooh. I guess pushing a little bit too low. Okay, let's just see if we can tack it right here. Oh. Okay, if I could get it, if I could just hold it like that. Let's try this again. It's not sticking for some reason. It's not sticking. Am I actually getting any on there? I thought this was going to go really good. Okay, I'm going to push stop here for a minute and fix this. Okay, I'm holding it just right now. I'd like it to fill that gap there, but this does not seem to be wanting to stick. What is the problem here? Okay, maybe I'm just expecting it to happen too fast. Maybe I should be trying to put a little bit of the curing agent on it. See what happens if I remove my finger. No, if I remove my finger, it wants to. Where's my holder here? No, I know that there's Instacure in there, the CA glue is in there because I can sort of see it moving back and forth when I push this. But it just doesn't want to grab. Okay, I'm going to have to get myself some curing agent here. Okay, what I've got here now is one of Gabe's swabs, and on the swab is just a little bit of the curing agent. I don't know if this is going to help or not. Now, slowly let my fingers loose and see if it seems to stick there. Yeah, it did. Okay, I'm going to do that all the way along here now. Maybe I'll start at this end here. This applicator does not seem to want to work good with that really thin stuff. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm not putting hardly any on. Okay, now Gabe's swab here. Okay, I think it's stuck. I think it's stuck. Okay, now, if I carefully try and pull this out of there, is it going to break the photo etch piece off? No. Now, my plan is, see if I can turn this over here. Okay, the plan is I'd like to reinforce it from the inside, which is at a bad angle for you. Okay, it looks like our little door thingy here is needs to be straightened, but we'll straighten that after I get it reinforced. Yeah, I think I'm going to just have to recompose here in order to do this. Okay, we are upside down. I do not have any glue on my applicator yet, but before I force this thing over to straighten it out and glue it along right here, I want to try and reinforce from the inside all the way along. And what I've got going on here is the CA thin, not the Bob Smith stuff, just the ordinary thin. Now I want to be careful that I don't knock this off. I don't mind if it builds up a little bit, but I don't want it to wake up that wall either. No. Probably getting my nose in front of the lens. I might have to do this off camera. Okay, it is there. I can see it. Yeah, I think that's going to make a good bond. Alright, let's just leave that for a while. Okay, a few minutes has passed here now, and I'm hoping that this CA that we put down here is set. I think it has. The plan right now is to straighten this. It bends so easy because the only thing keeping it straight is those two very spindly little, well, I guess this one here in the end, this third one is, but anyway, if you know what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, this is not the extra fast setting. This is just the CA thin. I'll just give it one more here. Okay, if that cures like that, I think it'll be a good bond. I'll just give it a little smell of this stuff here. Ooh, that's a little smell. Now, as for our walkers, they did show up today and yesterday as well. And yeah, our video is already pretty long here, so we don't want to waste a whole bunch of time doing this. I'll just run them both at the same time just for a few seconds, and then we'll get back to the model ship. Well, obviously, we're not going to be doing any painting today. Yeah. These things always take longer than you think, right? Okay, now, I want to quit and go down to the workshop and work on that stuff that I wasn't going to talk about anymore in this episode. So, I'm going to have to say thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.